I must be mad. This lot has got to go in my van somehow. And this is not all of it. I've still got a rig out in the Observatory to pack away and somehow get in my van. This is going to be very interesting. I have a weekend away. I'm going to Kelling Heath, and this is my first star party away, and it's going to be interesting, but hopefully good fun. I've just got to find somewhere to put this lot. So I've got to strip this rig down now and get it all in the van. Unfortunately it's raining, so I've got to try and do it between the showers, but this is going to be packed away, and once I get on site I shall set it up. I've got a toilet tent I can put over it to keep it dry, hopefully, but this is coming with me, and I've now got to strip it down and load it in the van. Well, I don't know how, but I did it. I'm packed. I managed to get everything in. And I'll strap my rig in, so we're ready to go. So time for a quick break and then back on my way. Well, hi and welcome to the channel. So you join me here on my first star party here in Kelling Heath in Norfolk. So we had a clear sky last night, and I was using the FRA 400 with the 2600 one-shot colour, and I got the 6nm dual narrowband HA and O3 filter in, and my target was a fairly wide shot of the WR134, and hopefully I'm going to get another night on that tonight. So it is forecast to be clear tonight, but the next night is forecast rain, so we'll see how that goes. There are a few other astrophotographers here that you may know. I've got Glenn from Astro is parked over the way. Titch from Don't Be Dalek, he's also here. A few other people. We've got Altair Astro stand. They're going to be, I think, on displaying their gear tomorrow. So yeah, hope you like the video, and welcome to my first star party. So this is my little camp. It's not fully converted, this van, but I've got a makeshift bed in it, and I've got a tent here, so we are equipped with everything we need, so that's good. Just hope the weather stays clear. Right, so it's time for breakfast, and I think I've got somebody joining me for breakfast. We're going to walk over together to the restaurant just behind me here, and I think eggs and bacon is in order. Morning, Glenn. How are you?
You ever guess what?
What's that?
Filming you.
And I'm filming you. No.
Filming you.
That makes a change, doesn't it? Hey, it's time for eggs and bacon, don't you say? Yeah?
Eggs and bacon?
Eggs and bacon, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it.
Right, come on, it's camera
Let's do
off.
it.
Camera off. Right,
Hey, mine's bigger than yours.
Yeah, all right.
Right, let's go. It's quite nice around here, isn't it? All these trees.
Yeah, it's lovely. In the woods, it's lovely with the cabins. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed.
So we've got forecast a clear sky again tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Most
so-
would be cloudy, because it was forecast cloudy last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very unexpected night, actually. It was a good night last night.
It was really clear later on, wasn't it? The sky was fantastic. You see the Milky Way so clear, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm here today with Glenn from Astro. He'll be here any second, and we are at Kelling Heath Star Party. We've both been given this new star tracker to look at, and we're now about to put it together. So it's going to be interesting, yeah, Glenn?
Certainly.
Right, let's have a look. This is the OG Star Tracker version 2, built by Ondrej. Right.
So Ondrej said
Instructions.
its accuracy is, what is it, 10 to 15
Yeah,
arc seconds?
10 to 15 arc seconds.
And I think the main part of this, that's the main reason for this tracker that makes it good, is that it actually carries a fair bit of weight. And I have to have a look through the
and
specs to see what the weight is it'll carry.
And apparently it's only 1.4 kg in weight itself.
1.4, and it will carry a payload of up to 4 kilograms.
Well, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's a small scope, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you've got the Altair 60 EDQ
60,
to try.
yeah, I'm going to try it with the 60 EDQ and
well, would that take some red cat, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I've got my red cat here as well, so I may put the red cat on and just try that and see.
So, I'm looking here, we've got a number of components.
There's a lot of components.
You better keep your parts away from our parts.
Yeah, I'll keep mine over here.
We'll end up with a mixed match. I mean, as 3D prints go, this is quite a lump.
It is.
You'd have to have a very good 3D printer to print this.
You would.
Now, I know I spoke to Ian at Altair, and he mentioned this is going to be changed, this bit here.
Right.
This little switch here, just put a battery in it. It's all it is a red LED to light up a polar scope if you put a polar scope in there.
Yeah.
So unless you're using that, you wouldn't need that.
Okay.
As I say on the instructions, I think it says you can also polar align with a laser, but not when you're at Kelling, Heath. You can't use lasers there.
Just get the rest of the parts out and have a look at the instructions. There's quite a few pieces there, isn't there?
We've got some QR codes here on the instructions. That's obviously for the assembly. So it's the assembly video with a video guide, audio guide as well.
There's like 30 different components to this. Got a decent knob on it, isn't it? See a better
decent knob on it. So
it's got a decent knob.
Got a decent knob on it.
It's got a better grip. Let's say
it's got quite a good deep nerve on it.
It has.
I've got a couple of bits here. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, where are they going?
Yeah, where do they go?
What do you reckon this is? I mean, these are race bearings.
This bit goes in here. You've got to wind the wheels right in.
You've got to open it right up.
Yeah. And they go inside here like that. There's little magnets in there and they connect in. And then those wheels connect into there. With the magnets like that. And then you've got that adjustment here with this knob here, what you control.
And this is your altitude,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, that raises the tracker up and obviously down when you go the other way. So then you use these to go in here to lock it.
Once you've got your altitude.
Once you've got it set,
and
then it'll just keep it all
that's a locking
in place. Yeah, there should be some kind of little indicator or something so you know what the altitude is.
That's good though. It won't wobble.
It feels solid, doesn't it? It's really well built.
Like that's getting too tight.
That's if you're on different altitudes, isn't it? That's
because I think
I've got something similar on the SkyGuider Pro. You can set it to different altitudes. I think these need to be in the top holes for us.
Yep.
Don't they?
They do. That much better.
Well, to be fair, this is our first time taking it out of the box to actually look at it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're still trying to figure it out, but once it's together, I reckon it could be a nice bit of kit. Maybe this is all it is. Maybe these bits are accessories.
I think they're accessories.
I think we don't actually need them.
Piece.
Yeah.
This might be for a finder scope or something. Or you can put a mount on there. And this one here, this is a phone holder.
Straight onto the tripod
part
then.
Of this. If you undo that one while I do this one up, look. Keep going.
All right. Let's see. How accurate do you have to have the phone though?
You just have to have the phone. Sort of. There's obviously a clamp for it. I reckon it's what these little slots are for. To hold the phone in the right place. But I mean, how accurate do you need to be? It depends on your focal length, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Because like I say, if you're like, say, 14 mil, you can do a 30-second.
Yeah, because you can.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then you've got your height adjustment as well here. But look, if you twist the phone, it moves. So
it does. Yeah. It's got to be accurate.
There's got to be a holder to put the phone in exactly the right position. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to look at on that. You can get it pretty rough with moving it about. It's just, here we go, look, there. And then, if we make some slight adjustments with the controls are nice and smooth, actually.
Yeah.
They're very
They're really
smooth.
good, aren't they? I like that.
There you go.
That's polar aligned. That's brilliant.
And you could say it's giving you a decent polar alignment for
It
a
has.
tracker. So that
was very quick as well, wasn't it?
It was, actually. Not once we sussed that out.
Yeah.
So this is Polar Scope Align Pro, an app.
Right.
And it's got a daytime mode. I would get this Polar aligned now. I'm actually going to do that, and I'm actually going to leave it so it's ready for tonight.
Photographing there.
Thumb through the trees.
Ah, nice.
Bit of sun, bit of lens flare.
Bit of artistic creation there. So this is the view that we have from our site. And over there, you can see the sea. And it's a lovely day so far. Should stay clear for night, hopefully. Right, so I'm in Glenn's tent at the moment, and we've had a good night. Both of the trackers are working, and we've been tracking the Milky Way probably for the last couple of hours. So they appear to be working well at the moment. We will find out tomorrow when we can look at the footage. So so far so good. Well, after 2 clear nights at Kelling Heath on my first trip out to Kelling, I was rather pleased with that, and I managed to get some hopefully decent data. So I had one rig set up and I was imaging WR134, that was with the SCAR 400. And I kept it simple with the other equipment. I was using my DSLRs, I had 2 of them on the go, and one was on this star tracker. This is the new OG star tracker, and we had a little play with it. Myself and Glenn from Astro had one. So after some fun and games of trying to put this together, we soon realised that there was a lot of parts in the box that you don't actually need. And once we put the main part in, which is this control here to alter the altitude, and I think the only other thing we added on was couple of knobs, but this little thing here, this is quite useful. This goes, just clips in there, and that's to hold your phone for polar alignment. So you sit your phone on there and it goes up against the side there, so you sort of hold it square on this plate here. And using an app, it was dead easy to polar align. My thoughts on this is it's really rather good. Tell you what I like about it is it's quite solid, and there's no wobbly parts or anything, and you can put a decent payload on here. I felt quite confident putting on my DSLR with battery grip and a reasonable size lens, and there was no movement at all. This is held solidly and it tracked very well. So just a few specs on this. This is 1.4 kgs in weight. It'll hold a maximum of 4 kg payload. It's got a periodic error of just 10 to 15 arc seconds, which is quite good. It's got a stepper motor, and yeah, you track very well. There's no switches on here, so there's just a USB-C input, and as soon as you plug it in, it starts tracking straight away. So I think I would have liked to have seen a switch on here, or maybe a switch to change it from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere. This can be Wi-Fi controlled, so you can control it with the app and through your phone, and you can change it to the southern hemisphere so it'll work down south. So it's a little bit bigger than the likes of the Nomad Star Tracker, but this just feels solid. It will fold if you undo these here and there, and then you wind this back. This will fold flat, so it will make it smaller if you want to travel around with it. But all in all, I think this is a nice bit of kit. It's great. Yeah, we had fun with it. Now this is for sale in Altair Astro, and it's £199 UK price. So this is the version 2, and it will come fully built like this. So originally this was an open source, so you could 3D print it yourself, but now it comes fully built in version 2. I plan to use it again, but this time I'm going to push it a little further. I'm going to use it with Altair 60 ED quad, so that's quite a lump, and we'll see how this tracker handles it. So definitely check it out. It's on the Altair Astro website. I'll put a link in the description below, but certainly worth a look, and for £199 it's not a bad price. So anyway, look, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers, and if you like this kind of thing, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help to push the channel out to other people who might be interested in this kind of thing. So I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and of course I wish you all clear skies.